What is going on, YouTube people? Today, I flipped my first Pokemon single. That's right. I bought a single and flipped it. I am normally a sealed wax guy 100% of the time, but I was at the Pittsburgh show last weekend, about 600 tables, mostly sports card focused, but there was a ton of Pokemon there as well. And I was walking around, and specifically, I was looking for CGC or SGC graded cards that I thought could be good crack candidates if priced correctly to send in the PSA and maybe do a little arbitrage that way. And nothing really popped out at me, but the show was so busy it was really hard to get around. But one of the tables that I looked at did have one that caught my eye. However, I didn't think it would cross, but I still thought it was a very fair price. The card in question is the ridiculously popular, super hot Charmander from the Pokemon Center exclusive ETB. You can see it's got the stamp right there. Great looking card. CGC 95, which is kind of an oddball grade that I know from the sports card side of things. The Gem Mint Plus or the Mint Plus grades, the 9.5 grades, a lot of people just don't know what to do with them. So I checked comps. Two had sold. They were both by the same seller. I assume went one unpaid. But both comps were in the high 200s, like 250 and 275 or something like that. And the guy had it stickered for 200. So initially, right off the get, I was already like, all right, well, that, based off recent sales prices, and this card has gone absolutely nuclear the last month or so. I was like, all right, we'll see where this goes. So I looked at it, and I don't think it'll cross to a PSA 10. I think it is off-centered. It's a little thin on this side compared to this side. The rest of the card, generally speaking, looks pretty good. There is a little white right there. And I don't know. I've never graded Pokemon before. I actually have a submission I'm going to send in very shortly. That right there is just inside the sleeve, that little white spot there. But there is a little white on the corner there. So you all in the comments below can let me know, how hard do they usually ding you for something like that? Is that an auto not getting a 10, or is that pretty common and they'll let that slide? Specifically on the back, because I know that you do see that a lot. But it's ever so slightly off-centered, and it's got that little bit of white on the back. So personally, I didn't think it was worth, unless I was paying PSA 9 prices for it or raw prices for it, then sure, maybe you could crack it and take a shot at it. But I didn't think it had a decent chance to cross over, at least not worth the gamble paying. I'm already paying a premium on it above what a PSA 9 or raw goes for. So he had a sticker for 200. I offered him 180. He thought about it for a few seconds and said, sure, that's fine. And then I took it home. And well, my initial thought was maybe I could just quick flip this. There's comps out there in the high 270s, 250s, 260s. Could I immediately take this and just sell it for 200, 220 bucks, 210 bucks and make like a quick 10% just walking around the show with little to no effort? Shortly after I got this, I ended up leaving the show because I just got too busy to walk around. It was too hard to really interact with dealers, but I still feel like I got a solid deal on it. I was like, that's fine. I'll just take it home. So I got home and I was like, let's just throw this thing up on eBay and see what happens. So I threw it up at 350 OBO, promoted the listing 2%, which is what I usually do. And it sat for about 3 or 4 days. This morning, when I woke up, I was sitting around doing some other stuff, getting ready for work, and I get the little notification, your item's been paid for. And I was like, what? And here I looked. Someone smacked the bin at 350. So after eBay fees and all the nonsense, I think it's going to end up being about $120 profit on this. So pretty good flip overall. I think it was a little bit right place, right time. I think the dealer had this card slightly underpriced. The card is super hot. And I think it's in, like I said, I looked at it. Personally, I don't think it'll go to a 10. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone's going to get this and in 3 months from now, they're going to be making a video about how they had this great come up. They bought a CGC 9.5 and they cracked it and they got a PSA 10 and they made $1,000 off of it. And if that's the case, more power to you. Fantastic work. Good job. I will shake your hand, sir or madam, and congratulate you on the W. I personally just didn't think it was worth the risk, but I knew that it was a popular card. I knew that it was hot. I felt like I was getting it at a good price, and I will gladly take the $120-ish profit on this sale in less than a week. I basically own this card for essentially 5 days. So, and that is one thing, like I said, I've never really dabbled in singles before, but I do like the potential idea of looking out for CGC 9.5s, SGC 9.5s, SGC and CGC 10s. And if something catches my eye and is priced correctly, and I think there's a crack and cross potential there, I may leverage that play again in the future. But that is the story of my first ever Pokemon single sale. Mr. Charmander, it was nice to own you for the short time that I did, but you are off to the next leg in your journey. I got to get this bad boy packaged up and shipped out. That's all I got for you boys and girls. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.